So can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, so I'm a web developer with a knowledge
Mm-hmm.
in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I
Okay.
continuously improve my skills through various challenges of
Mm-hmm.
projects, and I'm eager to learning to effective work in a teams and solves problems quickly, and I am eager to
Okay.
contribute our team and help to create innovative web solutions. So yeah.
Okay. So can you please tell me about your recent project?
Okay, so my recent project is Eco Travel Hub. So
Mm-hmm.
it is a website that I created to support sustainable tourism by using the
Mm-hmm.
HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And it
Okay.
includes an interactive map for finding eco-friendly place to stay. And I
Mm-hmm.
focused on making the site responsive and accessible on all devices by using the techniques like lazy loading to improve performance. And this
Mm-hmm.
project actually improved my skills in UI/UX designs and made the site faster and taught me about sustainability in text. So yeah, this is
Mm-hmm.
all about my project.
Okay. Okay. So have you used a doc type in your HTML? Like what can you tell me what's the role of this?
Okay, so the doc type in HTML tells the browser that what version of HTML the page is written in. So this
Mm-hmm.
helps the browsers understand how to display the page correctly. So without a doc type, the browser might not show the page as it was intended to look. So this is the role of doc type
Okay.
in HTML.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what if you remove doc type HTML from your HTML file? So like what will happen?
Okay, so if we actually remove the doc type HTML from our
Mm-hmm.
HTML file, the browser might not understand that our web page use the latest HTML5 standard. So
Okay.
this can lead to the web page being displayed in a quick modes where the browser guess how to show the content, and possibly it causing layout issues and inconsistent styling as well. So it
Okay.
will
Okay.
happen. Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you must be working on div and span tags,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
like, can you tell me the differences between these tags or can you say elements?
Okay. So the difference between the div and span element is basically is about how they organize content on a web page.
Okay.
Sorry. So div is basically used for larger sections, and it will create a new line before and after it, which is actually good for grouping elements like paragraphs or images. And when we
Okay.
talk about the span element, so it is used for small
Mm-hmm.
chunks of content within those sections without starting on a new line, and it will be perfect for changing the styles of some text inside the paragraph. So yeah, this is the difference between the div and span element.
Okay. So what are the data attributes in HTML?
Okay, so data attributes in HTMLs,
Mm-hmm.
it let us store extra information in our HTML element. So
Okay.
that doesn't affect the presentations, or that it doesn't affect the behavior of the page. So we can actually use
Okay.
these attributes to keep the track
Mm-hmm.
of things like identifiers, stats, or other data
Mm-hmm.
that JavaScript might use to add functionality. So yeah, this is the data
Okay.
attribution HTML.
So have you worked nestedly before in HTML?
Yeah, I just use the nested
So can
list.
you
So
please explain this
okay, so
in a brief?
a nested list in HTML is a list within other list. So we
Okay.
use it when we want to create a hierarchy or group within our list elements. So
Okay.
within our list items, just like the subcategories or steps within the larger
Mm-hmm.
process. So no, this is actually so this helps organize informations in a clear and structured way on our
Mm,
web page. So yeah, this is the nested
okay.
list of
So what is external style sheet in CSS and when to use in real application?
Okay, so the external style sheet in CSS is a separate file that contains style rules that can be applied in a multiple HTML pages. So it
Okay.
helps keep styling consistent across a website, and it make our
Mm-hmm.
HTML file cleaner as well. So
Okay.
we can actually use it in a real application when we have to style that apply to many pages, and it will be reducing repetitions and making maintenance easier. So this it will in a real application, the use of it in a real application.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, have you worked with form before? Form?
uh, Form,
Yes.
yeah, actually I just work with forms.
Okay. So, what are the types of input elements in a form we have?
Input elements in a form. So basically the input elements in a form can be depending on what information we need from users. So
Mm-hmm.
some common types includes just like a text for a plain text, and passwords for hidden text, and we
Okay.
have a checkbox for we can actually use it for selections, and
Mm-hmm.
there is another type radio, so it will be choosing
Mm-hmm.
one options among many. So yeah, these
Okay.
all are. So yeah, this actually help us to collect different kinds of data efficiently.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is CSS preprocessors and what is SCSS?
Okay, so CSS preprocessors are tools that let us to write a style in a more advanced way
Mm-hmm.
than
Okay.
it's a regular CSS. So which can
Okay.
actually then be converted into normal CSS, and they
Mm-hmm.
add features like variables and nestings and functions to make writing CSS easier and more powerful.
Okay.
And when we talk
Okay.
about the SCSS, so it is a type of CSS preprocessor, and that uses
Mm-hmm.
syntax which is similar to CSS, but with additional features. So it making it a popular choice for web developer. So yeah.
Okay. So, and what about universal selectors?
Uh, okay, so basically the universal selector in CSS are used to apply the style to every element on a web page. So
Okay.
it's actually represented by the asterisk symbol. So this
Mm-hmm.
selectors is a handy and useful when we want to set a common styles, like
Okay.
resetting margins or padding to a zero
Mm-hmm.
across all element in order to ensure the consistency, so before applying more specific styles. So this is all about the
Okay.
universal selectors.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are pseudo class selector and pseudo element selector?
Okay, so shudoclass selectors in CSS actually target element based on their states, like
Okay.
hover for when a mouse is over on an element, or we have the focus.
Mm.
So when an element is selected, so pseudo
Okay.
element selectors like before or after. So it will let us to style a specific part of an element, such as inserting content before or styling a certain part of text. So basically,
Okay.
both add extra styling capability of our CSS rules. So yeah, this is all about the pseudo class selectors and pseudo element selector.
Okay. And have you worked with the display flags in CSS?
Yeah, actually, it's the most
So
common.
what is this about?
Yeah. Okay. So the display flex property in CSS turns an HTML element into a flexible container. So within its
Okay.
style element, so which is arranged in a row or in a column. So it make it
Okay.
easier to design a layout actually by allowing you to control the alignment, and we can also control the spacing and the size of a children within this container. So this is very useful for creating a responsive web design. So that will work on a different screen size as well. So this is all about the display flex CSS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is CSS grid layout
Uh,
in CSS?
Okay, so CSS Grid Layout is a powerful system in CSS. So actually for creating a
Mm.
two-dimensional layout on a web page. So it basically allows us to define rows and columns in a container and placing and aligning content within the grid. So it's especially
Okay.
useful for complex layouts where we need to precise control over the positioning and the size of element. And it make it
Okay.
easier to design a responsive and organized interface as well. So this is all about the CSS.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, have you worked with media queries? If yes, so can you tell me about what media queries are?
Okay, so I just work with media queries, and
Mm-hmm.
it is a feature basically that allow us to
Okay.
apply different styles based on the
Mm.
characteristics of a
Okay.
device. It actually
Okay.
by displaying the content such as the screen size, orientations, or resolution. So basically, this
Mm.
is crucial for creating a responsive design so that looks good both
Okay.
on small device like phones
Mm.
and tablets, and it will also good for large devices like desktop monitor. So they help
Okay.
ensure that our website is user friendly and accessible in any device. So yeah,
Okay.
this is I think
Mm.
media queries.
So, have you created a sticky header before?
Yeah, I just created a
So,
sticky.
how will you create it? How do you create it?
Okay, so in order to create the sticky header in CSS, so we have the we need to use the position property, and we need to set it to the sticky. So basically,
Okay.
this make the header stay at the top of the page even when we scroll down. So we need to set the
Okay.
top zero as well. So to ensure the header stick to the top of the viewport. So this is how we can stick
Mm.
headers in CSS.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are client side and what are client side and server side in our application?
Okay, so basically the client side and server side refer to where the web code runs actually. So
Okay.
client side code runs on the user computers and typically in a web browser. So and this
Mm-hmm.
includes actually HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for displaying and interacting with the web page. And when we talk about the server side, so
Mm-hmm.
server side code run on a server and handling tasks like storing data and processing website logic before sending information to the client. So examples like Python, Java, PHP. So this is
Okay.
this is all about the client
Mm.
side and server side.
Okay. So, what is basically a DOM and what's the difference between DOM and HTML?
Okay, so basically the DOM stands for document object model. So it is a way that
Mm-hmm.
web pages are structured and accessed by programming languages like JavaScript. So it turned the HTML code of the page into object that can be manipulated by script to change the page dynamically. Okay, so
Okay.
an HTML is a code basically which is used to write the structure of web page, and it stands for hypertext markup language. And DOM
Mm.
is created from the HTML as a tree of object that script can use to change the page structures and need to change the styles and content dynamically after the page has loaded. So I think
Okay.
this is the main difference between HTML
Mm.
and DOM.
So, what's the use of type of operator in JavaScript?
Okay, so basically the type of operator in JavaScript is used to find out the type of variable or
Mm.
value. So for example, it can tell you whether the value is a number or whether it is a string or an object and so on so on. So basically this is useful when we want to check the type of data we are working with, especially when
Okay.
we need to make a decision based on the type in our code. So this is the type of operator, the use of type of operator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Moving to some other questions. So, what is operator precedence?
Okay, so operator precedence is a set of rules that determine the order in which the different operations like addition, multiplication, and comparisons are processed in a programming
Mm-hmm.
language. So basically,
Okay.
higher precedence operators are done first. And for example,
Okay.
in a mathematic expressions, multiplication is done before the addition. So this helps to understand. This help us understand how complex expressions will be evaluated. So this is
Okay.
the operator precedence.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you get a chance to work with slice method of an array in JavaScript ever before?
Yeah. Yeah. I just
So, can you tell me what this method is?
Okay, so basically the slice method in JavaScript is used to create a new array by actually copying a
Okay.
portion of another array. So we
Mm-hmm.
can specify where to start and where to end the copy. So the original array is
Okay.
not changed. So this is a handy and useful when we need to when we need a subset of element from array without altering the original one. So yeah,
Okay.
this is the I think slice method of it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's the difference between pop and shift methods?
Okay. So, difference between pop and shift method. So, basically, the pop methods remove the last item from an array and give it back.
Mm-hmm.
So, we know which item was removed actually. And when we talk about the shift method, so it does something similar, but it removes the first element of an array instead of the last one. So basically, the
Okay.
both methods change the original array by taking out item from them actually. So this is the
Okay.
difference between the pop and shift method.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know like you have already worked with the loop, so but still I just want to know like what is loop and what are the types of loops in JavaScript.
Okay, yeah, I just work with. So basically, the loop is a way to run the same code in a multiple times. So in JavaScript, basically there are the several types of loops that help us to repeat the action. So the main types are the for loop, so which run a set number
Mm-hmm.
of times, and we have the while loop, for which keeps the running as long as the condition is true. And we have the another
Okay,
loops are do while loop, so which run at least once and then continue if the action if the condition is still true. So each type is useful for different purpose and situation. So yeah, this is a loop and the types of loop, all I know about.
okay. And
Yeah.
what about functions and
uh,
how many types of functions are available in
okay,
JavaScript?
basically, the functions in JavaScript are like we can say it is a recipe type. So they let us to write a set of instructions once, and then we can use it at
Mm-hmm.
many times. So we can actually
Okay,
also give them a different ingredient each time to get a different result. So basically, there are a few types of functions. So some are written in a
okay.
traditional way, and some are written in a shorter form, just like called arrow
Mm-hmm.
functions as well, and some are built right into the JavaScript that we need to use anytime, so we can actually use it anytime.
Okay,
Yeah, this is the functions and the types of functions.
okay.
Yeah.
And what are the first class functions?
uh,
And
yeah, first class functions. So in JavaScript, first class functions means that the functions are treated like any other variable. So we can actually assign them to variables and pass them into argument to other functions, and even return them from other functions as well. So I think this
Mhm.
flexibility allow us to build more editable and reusable code as well. So this is the functions
Okay,
that are treated
okay,
like any other variable. Yeah.
okay. So, moving to some other questions, I just want to know what is a string and how a string is useful in any programming language.
Uh, yeah, actually, the string in a programming language is a sequence of characters that are used to store and that are used to manage the text. So, in
Okay.
language like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, so strings are enclosed in quotes, and we can use them to represent the words, and we can use them to represent the sentence on any other text data. So, basically, the
Mm-hmm.
strings are essential for displaying and manipulating text on a website. So yeah, I
Okay.
think the strings. Yeah.
Okay. So how they are useful in programming language?
So basically, strings are useful for programming language. So it can help us to manipulate the text as well. So, and we can actually
Okay.
manipulate the text by using the DOM,
Hmm.
and we have
Okay.
to, yeah.
So what is string immutability?
String immutability. Okay, so string immutability, I think it means that once a string is created, so it cannot be changed.
Mm-hmm.
So if we
Okay.
try to modify a string, so what actually happen is a new string is created with the changes, and this original
Okay.
strings remain the same. So this yeah, I think this is a string immutability, and it is also important to remember because it affect how we can handle text data in our code. So this is the string
Mhm.
immutability. Yeah.
Okay. So like we all know error handling is very important in JavaScript or in any uh, application or any language. Okay,
Yeah.
so like, can you just brief on this? What is error handling?
Okay, so error handling in JavaScript is a way to manage problems that might occur while a
Hmm.
program is running and without stopping the entire program. So we can actually plan for the potential errors and decide what to do if this happen and what to do if this happen. So this makes a program more reliable and user friendly. So as they can cope up with an expected situation gracefully. So this is, I think, the error handling in JavaScript.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are the different types of errors we have in JavaScript?
uh, Different types of errors. So in JavaScript, I think there are a few main types of errors. So there is a syntax error which can happen when the
Hmm.
code is written incorrectly, just like a missing a brackets, and then we
Okay.
have a runtime error also. So it occurs while the program is running. Sometimes due to impossible operations like dividing by zeros and any other thing like.
Okay.
And we have also have the logical errors. So the logical errors are when the code doesn't do what you expected but it is still valid code. So I think these
Okay.
categories helps developer to identify and fix the issue more efficiently. So yeah, this is the types of
Okay.
JavaScript as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
बस चलो हो गया 20-25 मिनट में काट दे
सही है.